In the early hours of a quiet February morning in 2026, the Jacksonville hip-hop community, and fans far beyond it, felt a sudden, crushing silence when news spread that Lil Poppa, born Jan Carlos Thomas, had passed away at just 24 years old. There was no high-profile crash, no public spectacle. The exact circumstances remained private and under investigation, with initial reports pointing to a sudden medical emergency at his home. His team and family have asked for respect and space during this unimaginable time, releasing only a brief statement expressing profound grief and requesting privacy as they mourn. The loss hit hard and fast. Within minutes, tributes flooded social media from artists, friends, and listeners who had grown up with his voice in their headphones. Songs like Mental Healing, No Love, Birds, Chosen One, and Special weren't just tracks. They were therapy for thousands navigating pain, loss, and the search for light in dark places. Lil Poppa didn't just rap. He bled truth, and that truth made him feel like family to people he never met. Tonight we honor him not only as an artist, but as a young man who carried heavy burdens with grace, who turned pain into music, and who left far too soon. Jan Carlos Thomas was born on October 18, 2001, in Jacksonville, Florida, in a city that has produced some of the rawest, most honest voices in modern hip-hop. Growing up on the North Side, he was surrounded by struggle, poverty, violence, fractured homes, but also by love, faith, and music that refused to stay quiet. From a young age, he was drawn to melody and lyricism. He started writing seriously around middle school, pouring his experiences into notebooks while friends around him chased different paths. Jacksonville's sound, gritty, melodic, emotionally heavy, became his foundation. He adopted the name Lil Poppa early, a nod to his grandfather and the idea of carrying legacy forward even when life felt like it was trying to erase him. His breakthrough came quietly at first. In 2019, at just 17, he released No Love, a song that captured the loneliness and longing so many young people felt. It spread slowly through Jacksonville streets, then exploded online. By 2020, Mental Healing arrived, a vulnerable, melodic confession about trauma, depression, and the search for peace, and it resonated so deeply that it felt like he had reached inside listeners' chests and spoken their thoughts aloud. The song's success led to a deal with CMG, Yo Gotti's label. But Lil Poppa never chased trends. He chased honesty. Projects like Blessed, Loved, and Protected, He Touched Me Volume 1 and 2, and if I'm being honest, followed, each one rawer, more introspective, more spiritually searching than the last. He wasn't trying to be the hardest rapper alive. He was trying to be the most real, and people felt it. Streams climbed into the hundreds of millions. Features with Moneybagg Yo, Big 30, and others came naturally. But he never lost the North Side kid who wrote in notebooks. He stayed humble, stayed grateful, stayed close to home. Family was Lil Poppa's anchor and his greatest source of pain and strength. He was incredibly close to his mother, who raised him through every storm, and he often spoke of her as his rock. He had siblings he protected fiercely, and in later interviews he opened up about losing close friends and family to violence. Losses that fueled songs like Mental Healing and Birds. He was not married and did not have a publicly confirmed long-term wife or girlfriend at the time of his passing. His private life stayed private. He rarely posted about romance, preferring to let his music carry the emotional weight. What he did share openly was his love for his mother, his siblings, and the people who had been with him since the beginning. He often said they were the reason he kept going when the darkness felt overwhelming. Lil Poppa's lifestyle reflected a young man who had tasted success, but never let it change his soul. He lived in Jacksonville, stayed connected to his community, and kept his circle small. He drove nice cars and wore designer pieces, but he wasn't flashy for the sake of flash. He was grateful. He spent time in the studio, with family, at church, and giving back quietly to kids in his neighborhood. Mental health and faith were central to his life. He spoke openly about therapy, prayer, and leaning on God when the weight became too heavy. His net worth was estimated between $1.50 and $3 million. Built from streaming royalties, features, independent releases, and merchandise. But money was never the goal. The goal was healing himself and helping others feel less alone. The news of his passing at 24, still so young, still growing, still pouring truth into every bar, has left fans and artists devastated. Messages from Moneybagg Yo, Big 30, Young Gene Ace, and countless others poured in, each one heavy with grief and love. Jacksonville felt the loss especially hard. This wasn't just a rapper, this was one of their own who made it out and still came back to speak their language. The pain is fresh, raw, and real. A young man who gave so much of his heart through music is now gone, and the silence where his voice should be hurts in a way that words struggle to reach. Yet even in this grief, there is light. The music remains. The honesty remains. The feeling that someone out there understood the hurt, the hope, the fight, it remains. Lil Poppa didn't just make songs. He made people feel seen. And that kind of impact doesn't fade. As we hold space for his mother, his siblings, his friends, his fans, and everyone who loved him, we remember that life is fragile, pain is universal, and music can be medicine. Thank you, Poppa, for the vulnerability, the melodies, the truth you gave us. Rest in peace, young king. Your voice still echoes. If this tribute to Lil Poppa, his music, his heart, and the sudden, painful loss of him touched you, moved you, or reminded you of a song that helped you through your own darkness, please like the video and subscribe for more stories that honor real lives, real pain, and real healing. Your support keeps these memories alive. Thank you, and we'll be here with you in the next one. Rest easy, Poppa. We got you 0.5s fast.